The Ageless Guitar Series is about how to go from wanting to play the guitar to being able to play music on the guitar in the shortest period of time possible. Think of the following situation. One of your bandmates, say the vocalist, wants to play the guitar on a song or two. How do we get them up to speed as quick as possible? Our starting point recognizes that singing the melody of a song is really just moving from one note to a related note and sounding good. Those related notes are referred to as a key, and here we're going to use the notes of G major, and we're going to use 4 different patterns on a standard tuned guitar. Knowing the notes of a key over an octave is the foundation for putting music onto the guitar, and it's the core of the melody you've been listening to in the background. It takes practice to coordinate your fingers into these patterns, and this is true for any new task, but this is going to get you ready for the next lessons. Last time we met, we looked at how to play the notes of a single key, but as you may have noticed, it sounded kind of thin. The single note sound can be made richer just by playing more notes at the same time. And if we choose the spacing of the notes, the intervals properly, we can introduce the idea of harmonies. Now, singers have been using multi-part harmonies for a long period of time, and since we have 6 strings, theoretically we could play 6-part harmonies. However, we're going to start simple with just a 2-part harmony, and on the guitar that's what's known as a power chord. We're going to be using the root and the 5th note of the major key. If we're going to play it with a G as our root note, then we would play the D note along with it. A 3-part harmony then just uses 3 notes. That'd be the root, the 3rd, and the 5th, which if we keep with our idea of using the G, our G triad would be the G note, the B note, and the D note played together. If we were to choose each of the notes on the strings to be either a G, a B, or a D, we've made a chord that uses all 6 strings, even though some of the notes get repeated. Making chords from the notes of a scale is known as harmonizing that scale. And we can go further. We could add in the 7th interval or even the 9th interval and make 4-part harmonies out of our existing chords. I hope to see you in the next part of the series. Let me know in the comments if you're finding this interesting and useful. It's quite a leap from playing notes to harmonizing a scale and playing songs, so we're going to have to take a shortcut or two. Many songs are built around the major chords of a scale, and in the key of G, that's the chords G, C, and D. Now we're going to cheat a little bit and use simpler versions of these chords. Now these chords are part of a family of chords that are located down by the guitar nut, and it's going to let us leave our 3rd and 4th fingers in position as we transition between the different chords. Now, because of the fixed reference point, we're going to be able to easily move between each of the chords, and you'll see just how easy it is to play some fairly recognizable songs. It hasn't taken very long into the Ageless Guitar Series and we're already playing music. I hope you'll join me for the remaining parts. The Ageless Guitar Series already has us playing parts of songs, but what if we want to play along with someone else? This approach will take us back to playing notes, this time over the chords of the G major scale, and a great choice for this is the G major pentatonic scale. Now the G major pentatonic scale is just the notes G, A, B, D, and E, and they're going to all sound great when played over the G, C, and D major chords of the G major scale. To hear how this works, I've been playing the G, C, and D major chords in the background. Now I'll add the notes of the G major pentatonic scale over top. We'll just play them in sequence up and down and see how that sounds. Sounded great, right? Now many songs make use of this idea, and it's a great technique for improvising a solo. I hope you'll check out the other parts of this series, and let me know in the comments how these are working out for you. This is our final segment of the Ageless Guitar Series, and as you may have anticipated, we're going to tackle how to play in other keys. Now we're going to do this using the same chord shapes, but we're going to add in a capo to move to the other keys. The trick to positioning the capo is knowing the notes on the E and A string, as well as the root note of the key you want to move to. Now our easy chords are based on a G chord, which has its root note on the 3rd fret of the E string. So if we wanted to move to the key of A, which is 2 frets higher on the E string, we're going to want to add a capo on the 2nd fret. Now we can play in the key of A using our exact same G, C, D chords, but now they'll be in the key of A. As a practical example, we're going to play our G, C, D chord progression, first in the key of G, and then with a capo on the 3rd fret, we'll play the same chord shapes, but we will now be in the key of B flat. All the ideas we've been looking at can be moved to different keys, and we can even add in the minor chord shapes. But all this is something for another day. The Ageless Guitar Series has been an interesting exercise and a lot of fun exploring guitar basics, and I hope you found it a lot of fun too. I'm Scott, and I'll see you soon.